Benjamin Price. I was born in Dallas, Texas, and was raised there, went to schools there, graduated high school there during the time of segregation. So all of my education in Dallas was in a segregated system. I'm fourth generation college graduate. My son is fifth, which means that we just knew that's what we were going to do. We were going to go to college. My father was a math teacher. My mother went to Spelman, and then her father passed on, so she had to drop out. But when I graduated high school, I was valedictorian. When I graduated high school, I knew I was going to college. So my aunt called the dean of students at Spelman, who had been one of her classmates, and said, my niece needs to go to school, so I ended up at Spelman, which is where I was supposed to go anyway. Left Spelman, transferred to the University of Colorado as a pharmacy student, fell in love, got pregnant or married, one of them, I don't remember which one was first, but at any rate, to a graduate student there. And we married. He was a graduate student, and his first job was at Southern Illinois University in Alton, Illinois. Then we went to Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio. And wherever he went, I went to school. Then he was recruited by the dean of the School of Business here at the university. He was recruited to go to the economics department. He was the first black professor in the economics department here at the U. So this is how we came from Yellow Springs, Ohio, to the University of Miami. It was a shock to the system because of the difference in the level of consciousness here, from a liberal to a very, not the university, but a very conservative environment that we got here. I had no idea what we were going to see. I recall when we bought our first house, there was a woman who lived behind us. It was a new development. So we were, sodding our yards and so forth. And she came, white expression woman, and she came running toward me. And I'm saying, oh my goodness, I know I brought my children to the South. And when she got to me, she said, I'm so glad to see an American. What? And that kind of gave me an idea of where I was. I had children who my children were like 6 and 7, who wouldn't play with my son because he didn't speak Spanish. That was another adjustment that we had to make. So, and of course, this was in the 70s, which is very interesting now. I believe the first black student at the university was in 1966, and we got here in 1971. So there were not a whole lot of students, black students at the U, let alone a whole lot of black administrators or professors at that time. When we came, I taught at Miami-Dade while my husband was teaching here. I taught welfare mothers and people who were assigned to Miami-Dade who had been in trouble with the law to prepare them for the GED. And I say that to say, then I started directing the Upward Bound program at the university. So I was able to hire black students at the U. And I was probably one of maybe 2 black females there So I did a lot of counseling, helping students make that transition from a comfort zone to the U, which was not very receptive to Black students at the time. I became the first assistant athletic director for academic support, and I was in charge of graduation of all the sports, but specifically with emphasis on those sports that had a low graduation rate. My colleagues at the U, who I had known from forever, said if they can do it on the field, they can't do it in the classroom. And my assignment was to say, oh yes, they can. And we did. So I served as a commissioner for 14 months. And then I served for 9 months as mayor. The campaign was not a pleasant one. It was very racially, they depicted me as Queen of Spades. And I will tell this story forever. I really liked the picture. The picture, I had a scepter in my hand and a crown. I thought this was great, and I showed it to my mother, who was living with me at the time. She said, Anna, that is not a positive picture. They're calling you the Queen of Spades, which, you know, is not a positive depiction. And I had, at the time, there were 2 other Black commissioners, the only time that ever happened, and they called us the 3 monkeys and depicted us as 3 monkeys, you know, so it was very racially divisive. I was still on the Historical Museum board. I had, as I said, I paid dues there. I had all kinds of people from the Historical Museum coming to support, some who lived here. I had been at the U, so I had a good solid foundation in the white community. I was on the Planned Parenthood board. I mean, I had people coming from all parts of the community that I think no one really understood. The person who also wanted the seat was a gentleman by the name of Bruce Hoffman, who was a 2-time state legislator, and a white male, Bruce Hoffman. So people thought that he would be a shoo-in. He thought he would be a shoo-in. And I recall very clearly, Carrie Meek told him, "You can't beat her." But I had been paying dues the entire time. So yeah, I won with 60% of the vote, as a matter of fact. I retired from the U in 1998 and became executive pastor of my church. And that's when I was doing the prison ministry, which has to do with, again, our prison ministry was to give them skills to pass the GED. It wasn't so much, you know, we had services, but the first service was to give them a GED prep. If people go into prison, there's men and women, they go into prison and come out with the same thing they went in with, they're going to go right back. So the idea is to give them, make sure they have something to bring to the table, which is a GED, a high school equivalency. So if you get a high school equivalency degree or get a skill, then you're less likely to come back. I've always been one to see that's a gift, is to see the potential and want to be able to bring it out. We have been out of balance. We are out of balance. And one side is getting more powerful, but at least is letting people see. See, I believe you can't cut a snake's head off until you see it. That we are experiencing in this country at this time has always been there. It's never been gone. It just subsided, but it's always been there. This country is built on, it's systemic. Racism is systemic. It's just like the concrete in this house. We have an opportunity in South Florida because we are so diverse, is to be and accept who we are and how we are. It's okay for us to be different. It is. It's all right. And acknowledge it. You don't have to put one group down in order to elevate yourself. I think that's what's happening. That's unfortunately what's happening for us countrywide. We feel that we have to keep some people down in order to elevate ourselves. That doesn't have to be a superior. And bottom line, we can be the model. We can be that forms that critical mass, of unity, critical mass of respect for humankind. We can do that.